boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. This is Jesse with the Common Nerd, and as I've said it once on this channel, I will say it again. I am a DC fanboy. I want good DC content. I grew up on Batman the Animated Series. Michael Keaton's '89 Batman was one of my first introductions to Batman. I love Superman the Animated Series. I love Justice League. I love all of that kind of stuff. I love Justice League Unlimited. I love all of these kind of things out there. I love the comic books. I love all of that kind of stuff. I mean, and of course, we can go back to the fact, I love Marvel too. You know, I grew up on the X-Men series out there, and then of course all of the stuff going on with like the Spider-Man show and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I am a DC fanboy, and I want good DC above absolutely everything else. I am tired of Hollywood and Warner Brothers in particular hiring the wrong people and finding the wrong people to completely adapt these stories and just butchering them and trashing them and turning stuff. I mean, we saw what happened after Snyder had left Warner Brothers and the kind of absolute just dysfunction that became everything that came afterwards, and what kind of just absolute insane message turned into. I mean, Birds of Prey. Anyone, boys and girls? Birds of Prey. I don't know how about the canceled Batgirl movie. I mean, come on. These people were clearly absolutely insane and going in a completely and totally bad direction with what was going on out there. So of course, like so many of us, we wanted to see the Snyderverse restored. We wanted to see all that kind of stuff become good again. And of course, the hashtag, hey, sell Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix would be a wonderful thing to see what happened. But at the end of the day, Warner Brothers is broke, boys and girls. Okay, they cannot afford Henry Cavill. They cannot afford Gal Gadot. I mean, they don't want their Flash guy in any way, shape, or form. But you know what? They can't afford Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson either to continue going forward with the Black Adam stuff. At the end of the day, the Black Adam movie did not make enough money to change the minds over there at Warner Brothers. I mean, I think it cracked like 500 million globally or something like that. But unless that movie was going to make $1 billion, you were never going to see Henry Cavill is back. And trust me, we covered all of the leaks. I wanted all of this to be desperately true. But that movie simply did not make enough money. And boys and girls, Warner Brothers is broke. So now we get James Gunn. Now we get James Gunn in here with a bunch of brand new no-name talent out there that can come in cheap and hopefully give us a good Superman movie. Obviously, the trailer released last week. I personally really enjoyed it. It looks like, according to all the statistics out there, the majority of the audiences out there liked it. And now, boys and girls, something else is going on out there, because guess who else was excited about that trailer? Yes, David Ayer himself. The guy wish. Hashtag release the Ayer cut, of course, because the Suicide Squad kills too many video game references out there, boys and girls, but that Suicide Squad movie, I want to see the David Ayer cut, because he has teased over and over again that it is something completely different. It is something completely new, and it's going to be a very different version. I have always been of the opinion that the Warner Brothers director's cuts were always better. So, of course, I want to see David Ayer's cut. But to go after him for being a DC fan and wanting to see a good DC Superman done well, you're not a fan of Ayer. You're not a fan of DC. You're nothing more than one of the people that accuse us of being Snyder Bros all the time. You are the reason for that. Because guess what? Some weirdo psychopath out there who's probably never a DC fan to begin with and only came in under the Snyder has decided to attack the legendary David Ayer out there on social media. And guess what? He ain't putting up with it, boys and girls. Because as you can see over here from our dear sweet friends at thatparkplace.com, David Ayer claps back as angry Snyderverse fans amid support for James Gunn's Superman trailer. And yes, boys and girls, it's really kind of funny, and we're going to get into a little bit more of my analysis for this at the end of the day. But as the old saying goes, as our dear friend out there in the chat, X-Tartlino, reminded us, you attract more bees with honey than you do vinegar. Going out there and insulting and attacking the new boss that is currently in charge of all of your fandoms out there is not exactly the way to get what you want. I don't know, strange concept. Maybe being nice to the person that can actually give you what you want might more likely actually get you to give you what you want. Going after them, attacking them is going to literally put a sour taste in their mouth for your entire movement. Because hashtag the release the Ayer cut can indeed work just like it worked for releasing the Snyder cut. But if you decide to go out there and attack the people that are currently charged, you know, those guys with the keys to the kingdom, guess what you're not going to get? An Ayer cut ever. So we're going to check out this article from thatparkplace.com, getting all of the juicy details of exactly what this alleged DC, well, more like the Snyder Bro fan actually said, as well as David Ayer's response to that as well. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you are not already. Because boys and girls, we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. We are literally sniffing the door of 1,500 subscribers right now. So please help out and get us over that hump and get us over that number out there, boys and girls. And if you'd like to help support the channel in financial ways, please check out the links in the description as well. So from our dear sweet Montanero over at thatparkplace.com, David Ayer is striking back at his own supporters after expressing support for James Gunn's new Superman trailer and the expanding DC universe the Guardians of the Galaxy director is trying to establish. The backlash comes from the same fan base that fervently clings to Zack Snyder's failed Snyderverse continuity and has been aggressively campaigning for the Ayer cut of the 2016 Suicide Squad. Ayer himself supports the fan movement to bring his original cut of the film to life. However, these overzealous fans clearly stepped over the line, eliciting a sharp, worded response. Instead of fostering a collaborative environment, these fans are now portrayed as entitled detractors, undermining both Ayer and Gunn's effort to advance the DC franchise. Once again, that's the problem. Days before Gunn released his highly anticipated Superman trailer, Ayer addressed his followers on the social media, urging them to reconsider their aggressive campaign to push for his version of the Suicide Squad at the expense of James Gunn's projects. And there's nothing wrong with him putting this out there because it does completely and totally make sense. And I saw this tweet and I completely agreed with him. I saw him when he put this out, and yeah, it made total sense. Well, yeah, we don't want to try to campaign for something from the past on the same day where all the hype was going to be all over the Superman trailer. Not only is that just a bad idea from a marketing standpoint, because our voices of hashtag release the Ayer cut are going to get completely and totally drowned out by the Superman trailer. Also, it's just bad form and it's rude. I know, strange concept. Rudeness seems to be perfectly acceptable in the modern society out there with no idea whatsoever on just basic human decency. I'm sorry the internet and Hollywood have turned you into this, but for the love of God, as a DC fan, as a Snyder fan, learn some humility and learn how to talk to people, because this is not how you get what you want. So David Ayer puts out there on Twitter, I didn't realize James was dropping Creature Commandos when the latest Ayer cat campaign hit. The new Superman trailer is dropping soon, and I knew that the intentions of another campaign for my version of SCOD, which of course Suicide Squad, the David Ayer cut. As a filmmaker, I want to support other filmmakers. I'm excited. So basically, essentially going out there, hey guys, let's just chill out on the campaign. Let's find another day for it. Let's just delay it for a little while. All the hype's going to be all over the Superman trailer, all of that kind of stuff. But oh no, you toxic, and yes, I'm going to use that word properly, you toxic Snyder Bros out there couldn't possibly think the fact that, oh, I don't know, being supportive and being kind to the guy that currently holds the kingdom, i.e. James Gunn, might be a good way to get what you want. Oh, no. Your hatred, your absolute insanity, the fact that it has broke your brain that Zack Snyder will not get his Snyderverse restored at Warner Brothers, that Henry Cavill will not be coming back as Superman. It has broke your brain so bad you are no better than the people with Trump derangement syndrome. Yes, I said it. Come at me, bro. And of course, he decided to go after David Ayer. So disappointing to see you this tweet. How much suckery are you going to do to Warner Brothers and Gunn? All the support we showed you, and you do this? And of course, they couldn't even spell it right. They said they put you dot this. I mean, seriously. So let me explain a few things to something. Let's Common Nerd go off on it. Let's get Common Nerd get his little soapbox out. If you didn't think I got enough of my soapbox in the beginning of this, because here's a thought. I know it's strange, and I know it's crazy to think about in the modern era where we have seen bullying and cancel culture and these mobs on Twitter take down these companies and decide and actually change things and actually force them to bend the knee to the acolytes of the cult. Okay, first off, whether or not you think that's an effective method or not, it is an immoral method that is wrong and it is destructive. And that's exactly what this kind of tweet is. You're going to go out there and go, well, hey, stop licking to the boot to the guys that literally are the ones deciding whether or not your cut goes. I don't know. Here's a strange concept. Maybe as a DC fan base, or maybe as a Snyder fan base, if we really wanted to get things out of this company, guess what we need to do? We need to make them money. Okay? Things need to go well. Because guess what? It's going to cost some money to release the Ayer cut. Okay? It's going to cost some money from Warner Brothers' pocket to get some people together and finish it and polish it and put a little marketing stuff together for it. It's going to cost them some money, okay? Is it going to cost them hundreds of millions of dollars? No. Is it probably going to cost them a good 1 to 10 million? Probably. They need to know there's going to be a return on investment. They need extra money to do stuff like that. The only reason, well, one of the reasons that the Zack Snyder Justice League cut got released was not only of the fact that the fan campaign was huge and the fans made it a success, they rewarded HBO with some of the highest numbers they had ever seen on their streaming service ever. Hell, they lead credence to that Zack Snyder cut, giving most of their actual new subscribers a giant influx of new subscribers just for that, boys and girls. So that works. Your fan campaigns do work when you are nice and respectful about things. It also helped that Warner Brothers needed stuff on streaming. They needed more things to pump it because it was in the middle of all the government lockdowns and all of that kind of stuff, right? So those two factors worked well together to make that happen. But comments like this, no, sir. And of course, David Ayer wasn't going to take it lying down either. Because as you can see over here from his essential response to this whole situation, because I'm sure if you go down through his Twitter account, there's going to be a bunch of these exact same toxic Snyder Bros out there saying all of this kind of nonsense. You know what? Maybe we should call them woke Snyder Bros instead of saying to use all of the tactics of the devil himself. That's what we're going to go on from here. So you woke Snyder Bros out there who decide to use the exact same tactics of the cult, well, that's okay, because David Ayer's got a response for you. My Lord, if supporting another filmmaker is so contentious, I'm just lost at this point. When I was a kid, I had a nightmare childhood. My best friends were comic books. They held me and gave me company when no one else did. I think there's plenty of fans out there that can completely and totally relate to that sentiment. That's the point of a fandom. That's the point of escapism. That's what these products are meant to do, to get you away from all of the BS you've got going on in your life, to give you an inspirational story, to give you hope, to give you something to escape to and enjoy outside the humdrum, which is why people have such an issue with you and with you taking all of your modern nonsense and shoving it in a comic book story, because that's not what escapism is supposed to be. By definition, it's supposed to help you escape the real world. And clearly it was that for David Ayer. So he goes on. Batman spoke to my injured soul. Superman's optimism was an example of how to see the world without darkness. I cannot fucking wait to see James's trailer. Real talk. And I cannot wait to see his film. I absolutely am sure he crushed it, because that simple optimism of Superman is all over it. The little kid in me needs that right now. I think the entire culture needs that. So James Gunn, don't screw this up, because I promise you, you will hear from all of us. They have said DC fans are a little fanatical in the past, that have always been a little crazier than Marvel fans. Guess what? They're right, James. They're right. So I'm the bad guy for this? So be it. I do troll what I can control, and I can't what I can't. I'm going to step back from all of this for a moment and completely and totally understand it. This was a guy that literally went out of his way. He took time out of his day to recognize the passion of fans and how much we want, how much the passion of DC fans and how much we wanted good quality representations of our beloved characters on the big screen. And we believed that the David Ayer cut could give us that. And David Ayer responded in kind. He supported us. He retweeted the hashtags. Hell, he probably bought some of the merchandise out there, but he helped with this campaign and he sided with us. And to have a single one of you, I don't care if it's one troll, to have a single one of you attack him for being a fan, attack him for being a DC fan because you hate James Gunn. Hate James Gunn all you want. He's more than earned your ire for all of the things he's done over the years. But to go after David Ayer and accuse him of being some simp, all because he wants to see his fellow filmmaker succeed, his fellow DC fan succeed, you are no better than the woke cult. And you are nothing more than a woke Snyder fan, and you are definitely not a DC fan. But of course, there are different fans for different strokes. So maybe I'm a little harsh. Maybe I'm a little over the top saying you're not a DC fan. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of you out there in the chat, out there in the comments, going, well, I was a DC fan before I was a Snyder fan, and I can still hate James Gunn and and hope he died. I don't care. Have your fun. Scream all you want in my comment section, you angry Snyder Bros. Have at it, because guess what? Every one of your comments fuels my algorithm and increases and makes the video go out even farther. So by all means, have at it. But guess what? This kind of toxic behavior, this kind of groupthink cult attitude is exactly the problem we have with the other fucking side. Because that's what they do. They cut people out for disagreeing with them. They cut people out for deciding to like something that they don't like. That is not what we do. That is not how we win. We do not destroy. We do not beat back evil by becoming it. We beat back evil by showing them a better way. By showing them the light of God, which is truth. Going after somebody, you're either ignorant or you're an agent of the devil, because you're either ignorant how actual Hollywood shit works and you have to be nice to the people you want things from, or you're an agent of the devil and you're not a real Ayer fan or a Snyder fan, because then you would understand we have to be nice to these people to get what we want. If you're gonna be an asshole on your own fucking time, and don't ever claim to represent the rest of us. Because hashtag release the Ayer cut. Hashtag sell Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix. And guess what? Hashtag James Gunn Superman trailer. Because that trailer was great and I cannot wait for that movie. And you know what else I can't wait to see? The Ayer cut. So Warner Brothers, from an actual common sense, reasonable DC fan, I cannot wait to see that Superman movie. I love the trailer. It has given me hope. But the fans are passionate, and I promise you, if you release the Ayer cut, give us a steel book, I promise you it will make you a profit. Because like I've always said, at the end of the day, you make the fans happy, and we will make you rich.